Good morning, everyone. It is September the 1st, 2025. It's been a busy week for me, and the end of the summer, like I said, getting all 5 grandchildren all sorted out and ready for school, and then having a family emergency. Like every family seems to have emergencies from time to time, have to deal with that as well. So it's hard to believe it's already September the 1st. The kids are already ready to get off to school there tomorrow, and it's been a busy summer, a very crazy, busy summer. And with the forest fires and the air quality warnings and everything, it has been a crazy summer. But I'm glad we've all survived. And now the fall is coming on very shortly. We're almost into fall. Summer's almost over. So it's been crazy for all of us. And we just have to stick together. And now the meetings are going to be starting up there shortly. And I really appreciate the fact that everyone, quite the response I got on my last video that I put up there on the comments and that. And it's just interesting because just after I put up that video, I was talking about the farms and stuff. And the next video I'm going to show you is an interesting one because it's now people are stealing food. And this was from our community food sources, where community gardens are all over the city, and they help to supply some of the food banks that we have, the small ones in our communities, and that, as well as people's personal gardens, vegetable gardens, like I've been mentioning as well over various videos off and on when I talk about food insecurity, how we can feed ourselves, and that people are, not only are they stealing from the stores and the cars and everything else, there seems to be a rise on the food stealing right now. So I'm going to show that video after. But when I was talking about the farms here, I was looking at other ways of utilizing the farms in a good way, hopefully to benefit all. But I'm looking at this food theft, as I'm going to put up shortly, and realizing that this has happened before during the Depression years when food was short, and of course the farmers would be hit for their food shortage because people didn't have food. So, roadside stall, maybe not. Maybe inside their fence they could have something like that. There's much that we can do. And then, of course, you look at the Ottawa Mission. Now they've got a new one because what they've put out when they help the community. They started off with their chefs program, teaching young people and people who are addicted and getting off addictions to be able to as well become chefs in that. So they opened up a little store on Rideau Street, which not only which serves the public as well. So if you go in there and buy a meal from them, it goes back into their programs. And then I just saw a thing, I didn't get it taped, but I did see it last week as well, that I talked to you about the YMCA in one of my videos, opening up for the homeless and providing more beds and that they've revamped their way of doing things as well. Well, lo and behold, now, the beginning of September, Chef Rick and the Mission is now putting another kitchen in there to serve not only the homeless, the people that are living in the building, but again, you can walk in and buy your food from them as well to put back into their programs. And so they're constantly expanding their programs. And another part of their programs is they have 2 food trucks that go around to various locations in the city. When they talk about these million meals and how many meals they're putting out to people, they have 2 trucks covering the city with meals that they hand out for free to the homeless as well, and into communities and to social housing communities, for an example. They park there and people can get meals that cannot afford meals. So it's building up and building up here. So I wanted to make sure that people had an understanding of that. But I still believe that we can utilize our farms much better. But what is scary with the tariffs right now is that it's hitting us, the family farms. And this is what really affected me growing up, was the little tiny family farms that my parents, as I said, they had couple that did the dairy farm, another couple that they knew that did the chicken farm. So I had firsthand experience on it. But it's crushing the small farms right now, the family farms. So again, it's these big great grocery chains that are supplied by them. But what they want is to take these super farms and make them into super farms, and they'd rather just crush the little farms. So we don't get that feeling that we got of being like a family, because it is. It's part of our family. Our human family is the chain of where we grow the food in the ground. We understand that growing, which is how we grow our food and that. And that's why I've been suggesting things. But as a family, we have each our part to do, and the smaller farms have a definite part to do in the growing of our food and that. And it's always this thing, bigger is better. Well, that's not necessarily true. I mean, I can say a lot of things on what I want to talk about in farms, and it seems like there's always so much to talk about, but never enough time to talk about it, and even in a video. And, even if you, say, made a movie on my life, which I've been around for a long time, boy, you could make one movie, maybe a 2 or 3 hour movie, but it wouldn't cover it all, and then you could put that into a series, maybe for several years, and it probably still wouldn't cover all the things that have happened in my life or another person's life, if they took another person and put their life history out in film so people can see what's going on. So the world is in a big change right now. It's not slowing down, it's speeding up, but there's a lot of wonderful things, and I'm seeing too. I can't unfortunately put up on the tape, but I saw one where for the green energy, where the windmills, where they actually took the blades off, and they had another way of doing it. And then there was another country that had just the post up, and another way of doing it so that they didn't have to have the blades. And then the other one I just saw yesterday on YouTube, which was interesting, which they're using collies. Well, this the border collies, I guess they're called. And the ones the farmers use, the little black and white ones. And they're trained specially now to go into the forests that have been burned. They have seeds in pack sacks, and they drop them. They're allowed to run through burnt out areas and reseed and plant those burned out areas where we've had our forest fires and that. So I'm seeing a lot of good, and I want to always give people hope. That's the hope, because people are coming up with ways, training our animals, looking at our technology and improving it all the time, which is good when it's used for good. And, because of all the things with the windmills and the big blades and the noise, and, it's going to affect our hearing or something to do with our brains or whatever, all these different theories that are coming out. Well, we're coming out with something better and better, and I'm seeing inventions from our young people that are going through science and school and that are inventing things that they're getting money for it as well. But we're in changing times, and it's going to be how well can we adapt to our change. And when I look at, one of my favorite shows, of course, is the History Channel, and I love archaeology, and I love when the archaeologists go in, and now they're finding out that there's civilization after civilization as they dig further into the earth. Oh, we thought civilization went back this far. Oh, well, now we just found another layer of civilization. So it makes me think that this is constantly repeated, and it's showing that Earth replenishes itself every so many thousands of years or whatever. We have to restart all over again. Are we in that process of restarting over again? And if we are, how are we going to adapt to it? So it's kind of exciting in a way, but it's kind of terrifying at the same time. But then I also see as I've talked about, the movies and what our future looks like. And I'm seeing some of this in the futuristic movies where the rich are getting richer, and they're up high class. And a good one is Demolition Man, where you have this high society, they're peaceful, they seem to be doing everything right. But the other low class people end up living in the sewer systems. So you still have two classes of people, but one's on top and one's on the bottom. And then when they broke out of the bottom, then they couldn't handle it. So they had these people in cryogenics, frozen, as we saw. Stallone, of course, he was playing that. And Kyra Freeze, and he comes back, and the outlaws, or the bad guys, came back to life because of what happened, if anybody's watched the movie. So it makes you wonder, just how far, and are we really going? And are we going backwards? Are we going forwards? I mean, it's very confusing right now for everyone. But these futuristic movies that we've seen, like 2012, about all the rich people getting a ship like Noah's Ark, except, as I said, it's a flying machine, and they expect to be able to weather it out. And then you get today, Elon Musk in his space, well, we're going to go to Mars. Well, things are happening a lot faster than what we thought, according to our scientists. Earth is warming up a lot quicker, and I trust the scientists on this one, and I trust my eyes, and I trust my nose, and I trust my ears, because I'm seeing it, hearing it, and smelling it all around me, what's happening right now. So they're correct in that. But if they think that they're all these rich people can just take a spaceship and go to Mars, that's not realistic in one way, because it's not going to be next year, the next year. But if things collapse too fast, because we have the volcanoes, we have Mother Nature against us, they may not make it. It might be 2035 by the time we might be able to make it there. But then there's a lot of other dangers at the same time. So there's no win-win situation here. The only way we can win anything is to work together. And that's what I keep trying to explain to everyone. And even the other version of, I never watched the cartoon The Simpsons. There's another good example. And people are saying, oh my God, how could they, back at that time, even from, I think it was the late 70s when they came out, 80s, 90s, and into the 2000s, where they were predicting things of the future. And it was like, how did they do that? People are still amazed. But then again, it goes back to my parents' time, back in the 1940s. Oh yeah, well, there was a cartoon that came on about man on the moon. Well, that was laughable back in the 40s. What do? In the 60s, late 60s, we get man on the moon. So there's so many wonderful possibilities in all this. It's just everybody's so confused right now in which direction we're going, that I think we need to slow down, start thinking, and not asking and expecting AI, for an example, to give us all the answers. Oh yes, we can feed AI, and I'm seeing that because they're using it now to predict the midterm elections in the States there, as well as 2028. But like I've always said, that there's good things about the technology, and there's bad things, and it's how we use it. But I still I still trust my organic brain up here, or the the organism. We still are smarter right now. And then, of course, you don't want the futuristic movies where our robots and stuff are taking over us as well. So it's a lot to think about and a lot to put on the table right now. But I really believe there is hope. We'll figure a way out of this, but it's not going to be easy, obviously. And it's becoming more and more apparent since the pandemic that we're really having a problem with. So I'm going to have to leave it there. I've got an incoming call. I'm sorry. It's affecting my screen right now. But I will, again, take care, be safe, and watch your surroundings, and we'll talk again soon. And bye-bye.